Primetime News, good afternoon. I am your host, Miss Jewel Burton, and today's topic that we will be focusing on in this news broadcast is development skills. The news reporters are Jewel Burton, which is myself, John Mark Collins, Demarco Lynch, Andre Witter, and Christian Thompson.
Good afternoon. I'm Christian Thompson. In this broadcast, we will be investigating why is it important for university students to develop personal development skills in the 21st century for their future career success. The skills and traits will be defined throughout the news report. The objectives that we'll be looking at are the compulsory personal development skills, which will be done by Mr. John Mark Collins. The important traits for the personal development in 21st century workplace, which will be done by Mr. DeMarco Lynch. The survey results, which will be done by Ms. Joel Burton. The conclusion and recommendation that will be done by Mr. Andre Witter.
Good afternoon. Personal development is defined according to Harappa 2020. Personal development is a long-term procedure that helps an individual to identify their personal objectives and learn new skills to complete their destiny, or in other words, maximize their potential. Examples of personal development tools are the Holland Code test that's on the left and the Big Five personality test that's on the right. Both of these can help persons to improve their personal development. The one on the right helps to determine an individual's personality characteristics and the person's extroversion, agreeableness, consciousness, emotional stability, and openness to experience, which are all measured on a scale going from low to high. And on the left, the Holland Code career test helps persons to determine their suitable career choices. So the importance of personal development in the workforce. So compulsory personal development skills, I'll be talking about three of them this afternoon. I'll be also defining and stating the importance of each skill and the reason why each skill are important. Starting with adaptive. According to the Cambridge English Dictionary, adaptiveness can be defined as the quality of being able to change to suit different conditions. And there are some adaptive skills are problem solving, communication, teamwork, and also communication and creative thinking as well. The importance of adaptive skills is that they're very essential skills because it aims in helping one to become successful in his or her personal growth and development and readiness for working in an environment. So it's very important for persons to be adaptive due to the current health pandemic. It shows the importance of this as students have to adapt by doing their courses at UTech online, as well as persons have to also adapt by wearing a mask and sanitizing often. Companies also have to adapt by selling their products, by creating websites and selling their products online rather than in a store, and also in delivering those products to customers using delivery services such as Amazon. Another compulsory skill is focus, and this is defined as a capability of getting a task or job done without procrastinating or getting distracted, being able to concentrate and maintain one's attention on what should be done. And the importance of this is being focused develops thinking, perception, and reasoning. This is very important as it helps persons in the workforce and even students as well to be able to complete their tasks properly and on time by not allowing themselves to be distracted or interrupted. In the working environment, you have a lot of persons talking, every phone's ringing. So it's very important for a person to be able to focus on what they need to do at a point in time, ensure that it's done properly. There's also some ways in which this can be done by avoiding your cell phone, avoiding social media, separating yourself. Someone can separate themselves in a quiet environment and also taking frequent breaks in between to ensure that it's done properly and you're focused on what you're doing. Another compulsory skill is conscientiousness, and this is defined by Harappa that consciousness is the aim of a person to do their assignment assiduously and attentively. And this is important in an employee as it helps to ensure that each task is done to the best of their abilities. So as I stated in the picture earlier, that consciousness, conscientiousness, conscientiousness is one of the personality characteristic traits that's being tested by the Big Five personality test, and it's measured as on a scale. And where persons who are high on this scale are organized, achievement driven, and also hardworking. But persons who are low on this scale are disorganized, disorderly, and not as motivated, are wanting to do the work to the best of their ability as persons who are rated high on this scale. So this is a very important skill that's important in the workforce, as helps that ensure that each employee do their work diligently, and also increases their productivity, as well as increases the financial performance of the company as well. So I'll now be handing over to Mr. DeMarco Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. John Mark Collins. I will be reporting on the important traits of personal development in the 21st century workplace. Three, these 3 points are what I shall be working on. There are 3 traits were ranked in order of importance, reasons for choosing the traits in the given order, and the importance of each trait. Next slide, please. Ethical. By definition, ethical skills are the moral principles people live by and demonstrate to others, which act as a guide for how someone behaves in various situations. For instance, a child that is being constantly taken up for by their parents or family members whenever they do any type of wrong, such as entering establishments that require you to be above a certain age or a certain weight or height class. By constantly doing stuff like that, the child in turn acknowledges that what he's doing isn't wrong, and when they get older, they continue to do the same remorselessly. The importance of such traits are because they help you to connect with others, communicate more effectively, and find success in professional and interpersonal relationships. Next slide, please. Empathetic. These are moral principles people live by and demonstrate to others, which act as a guide for how someone behaves in various situations. For example, when people are burdened by issues or situations in their personal and work life, it tends to spill out on others and affect the entire work structure. Importance of such traits is that they help you to connect with others, communicate more effectively, and find success in professional and interpersonal relationships. Next slide, please. Finally, we will define resilience. According to Hurley 2021 edition, resilience can be defined as the capacity to recover from difficult life events. Such events may be classified as natural disasters, car accidents, threats to your life, or any type of emergency issues as it relates to diseases or surgeries. And the importance of resilience is that it gives people the strength needed to process and overcome hardships, no matter what is thrown against them. I will be now passing on to Joel Byrne. Joel.
Thank you very much. Now, of course, doing this research or doing this news broadcast, during this broadcast, we had to do a survey results, and the news reporters and we came together and decided that we would have conducted this survey among the students at the University of the Technology Jamaica between the ages of 18 to 28 years. Next. Now, the method of collecting data that we as a team decided to use was WhatsApp, via WhatsApp. So we did a questionnaire on Google Form and decided that, look, we're going to send out this piece of information to students, as I said earlier, to the University of Technology through WhatsApp so that they could get it completed. You know, we had 32 respondents, which were both, of course, both male and female, and 53.3% were female and 46.7 were, of course, males. So as I said before, the survey questions, they were arranged in the Google form in multiple choice and, of course, short answered questions along with multiple choice grid. So putting together the questionnaire or the survey as a team, this question was one of the question that was on the survey. As it states, rate these important traits. You know, the traits were mentioned earlier from another news reporter, but just to remind you, some of the traits include adaptive, focus, consciousness, and resilient, etc. So continuing that, the question that was on the survey stated that rate these important traits in order of importance, from 1 being the highest and 5 being the lowest. Now, empathetic, as you can see on the screen, it had a tie where students, they believe that empathetic is a must. So as you can relate on the screen, the scores, the highest scores there were twined in between 3 and number 4, as opposed to resilient. Now, the university students, they believe that this is not really important to them in their career choice. They believe that resilience is just a walkover, opposed to being focused and being adaptive, as relate on the screen, the highest, the lowest should say, they also believe that adaptive and focused isn't relative to them in the career choice, opposed to being consciousness. Now, consciousness, to them, they believe that this is a must. Self-motivation is a must. Now, however, students believe that the personal development skills can definitely contribute to their life journey or to their career goals. Another question that was on the survey stated that with the important traits that was mentioned in question 5, that was the question that was shown before this one, can the students enhance or contribute their professional development? And of course, this question had a 100% that yes, professional development is a must in their career choice. Now, doing this survey, we decided to ask what level of interest they had in pursuing for their career choice, and 26.1 said that they preferred accounts, and another, of course, 26.1 decided that yes, I want to be in the market field, opposed to HR, which is known as human resource. 27.7 decided that yes, this is the field for me. And 8.7 decided that, you know what, general management is a must, and this is my career field that I enjoy in doing. Now, to sum up all of what I've just said, so based on the research that was conducted as a team among us, the news reporters, 32 respondents believed that the important traits could contribute their personal development and that all personal development skills is a must in this century, which is the 21st century. Now, they might be wondering, how will they use these skills in their personal career development in the future? Now, being adaptive can benefit to them as being leadership abilities, and of course, being determined along with analytical abilities, being consciousness. People might be wondering, how does consciousness ties in with my career or with the career that I chose to pursue in the future? Now, having this type of trait in the future can, of course, evaluate the effects of their actions, meaning it will help them to survive better, help them to commit fewer crimes, and earn more in their careers, having greater authority over others. No resilience. No, having resilience trait in their career field or their career choice can allow them to have a good work attitude towards the task that their supervisor or their boss might give them. It also helps them to have a positive outlook on life, allowing more excellent problem solving, and of course, self-motivation and motivation from others. Empathy, which is the last one that we will be looking at, it helps them to strengthen their ability to communicate with others and working as a collective member, and of course, improving their leadership abilities. Now I will be turning over to the next news reporter, which is Mr. Andre Whittock.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the news recap. So, in recapping the news, the personal development skills, adaptiveness, focus, and conscientiousness are very important for our students in the 21st century. Ethical, empathetic, and resilient are great personal development skills that can also help students in the 21st century. The personal development skills can contribute throughout the student's life journey. These important traits can enhance or contribute to their professional development. From the survey, results shows that the personal development skills, focus, and conscientiousness are the two most important skills for students in the 21st century. Students have many different reasons as to why they should develop personal development skills. Such reasons include making you a more valuable worker, allowing you to perform your duties better, makes you highly marketable in the labor market, and most of all, allowing you to earn lots and lots of money while you are at it. Survey results supported the fact that without personal development skill of conscientiousness, you will find it hard to become successful in your professional development. So based on the presentation, the researchers recommend the following. It is important for students to learn and acquire each of the personal development skills. Adapting to any given situation, therefore, it encourages others to be open-minded. When persons are open-minded, they welcome new ideas and are willing to accept change to suit their different conditions. Try and create small tasks to accomplish or maintain concentration. This will therefore develop or enhance their critical thinking and reasoning abilities. Ethical traits establish a strong value statement. These are moral principles by which people live as it regards how one should behave in various situations. And finally, resilient traits create an environment for achievement. This gives people the strength they need to push through and overcome difficult situations to always accomplish a certain task. I will now hand over to the news host, Joel Burton.
Please join us tomorrow, same time, same place for another recap on your news report. I am your host, Mrs. Joel Burton. Once more, good afternoon.